What's going on, Chicago? Now, the feds are here in Chicago. A lot of people thought that they was going to announce, hey, the feds are coming. No, they was just going to come and just arrest as many people as they can. Just like now they're doing. They have an operation called Operation Sweet Dreams. This is where they round up as many gang members and drug dealers as they can. Take a look.
And this is a packet of sugar. Now imagine a substance, a tiny fraction of this size, that could kill you. Good evening, I'm Rob Johnson.
And I'm Erica Sargent. We're talking about the drug fentanyl. Today, the feds announced a drug crackdown and the arrest of 65 people. The story has been breaking all afternoon. The undercover bust, known as Operation Sweet Dreams, targeted gang members on the west side. CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini picks up the story.
We had over 100 overdoses just in a 3-day period and several deaths.
The head of Chicago's regional DEA office says there are too many drug deaths.
Chicagoland currently loses 3 people a day to heroin addiction.
The U.S. Attorney, State's Attorney, and CPD hope today's announced busts put a dent in the drug trade.
Opioids are killing more people nationally than gun violence.
Among the most deadly of drugs is the fentanyl-laced heroin, which made up a big part of this latest bust.
Of the 3.8 kilograms of heroin, I think 148 grams were fentanyl laced.
Farden says only a tiny amount of fentanyl can kill.
2 milligrams of fentanyl can be fatal.
For perspective, this sugar packet contains 1,000 milligrams. 2 milligrams is not much. Our CBS 2 investigators last year showed you how drug cartels and gangs were manufacturing cheap fentanyl to cut in heroin to increase their profit margins. Among those who fell victim, Becca Cruz, whose father Barrett and stepmother Joanne Jeanette warned others.
You might as well put a loaded gun in your mouth and pull the trigger, because that's what you're doing.
She's dead. Because of this. Because of this fentanyl.
One offender targeted in this drug sweep is still on the run. Whether offenders are charged by the state or feds depends partly on their prior records. This fentanyl problem is such an epidemic right now.
And it seems with these arrests, they're really trying to put a dent in that.
And that's what they're trying to do.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Now, as you see, they never said a word about heroin in Chicago, not once in the news in the last 3, 4, 5 years. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to make it seem like, whoa, what a big epidemic drugs are in Chicago. No, they just make an excuse to arrest as many people as they can. And just like, that's why a lot of people didn't want the feds, is because we knew that they were going to just round up as many black people as they can. My problem is people didn't want the feds, but people also didn't want to step up and help themselves. Black people didn't want to go out, shop black owned. Now, these drug dealers are selling drugs because they need money to feed their families. But black people don't want to come together and shop black owned and bring businesses to the community to where they don't have to sell drugs. So now, since black people don't want to shop black owned, bring jobs to their community, feds, they got to get out there, sell drugs, and the feds gonna come arrest your ass. So now most of our brothers and sisters on the west side, south side are gonna be locked up. And that's how it go. Clean it up. But since blacks aren't willing to step up and do it for them fucking selves, the feds are going to come in and do it. Do I blame them? Nope. This is what happens. And so now they're going to make it seem like, man, it's just drugs have been a big problem in Chicago, which ain't the damn case. They're going to act like, damn, this has just been an epidemic. What I want to point you guys to is I came across a story published by the Washington Post. And this article was published March 7th, which was 3 days ago. And the article reads, drugs are killing so many people in West Virginia that the state cannot keep up with the funerals. Deaths in West Virginia have overwhelmed a state program providing burial assistance for needy families for at least the 5th year in a row, causing the program to be nearly out of money for 4 months before the end of the fiscal year, according to the state's Department of Health and Human Resources. Funeral directors in West Virginia say that the state drugs overdose epidemic is the worst in the nation. Now, you notice you guys haven't heard a word about this in the news. West Virginia is mostly white. In the current fiscal year ending June 30th, 1,508 burials have been submitted for payment. According to Allison Adler, the spokesman for the State Department Secretary, there are funds remaining for only 63 burials. That's how many people they've buried in the last fiscal year. The program has been around for decades, according to Adler, but only began running out of funds starting in 2013, 2014. The program ran out of money in June. By 2015, the program's budget was depleted. In other words, I can read this article all day. There's been more deaths in West Virginia. 1,508 burials have been submitted. It's an epidemic in West Virginia. But now they're trying to make it seem like, oh, Chicago's an epidemic. No. They're just about to flood the, just arrest and lock up and have an excuse to arrest and lock up as many drug dealers and gang members as they can. And that's going to be their way to clean up the streets of Chicago. So pay attention. Also, if you guys watch my show, every time I point out a problem, I will bring a solution to that particular problem. A solution to this problem: if you don't want the feds rounding up your kids, your friends, your family members, blacks are gonna be complaining, and blacks complain too fucking much and don't want to do shit about it. That's why I don't have any sympathy for the police rounding these motherfuckers up, because blacks are not willing to get the fuck out there and help themselves. If blacks want to get the fuck out this fucked up situation, because if your family members out there getting rounded up, and then they said that people with backgrounds are going to get more time, whether it's federal or state. If you got a background, it's going to be federal. If you don't have a background, it's going to be state. But they put cases on blacks when they're 12 years old. That's why they do it, so that they can have a reason to lock you up longer. And so, yes, these are mostly going to be federal cases, so they can put 3, 4, 5 more time on those people. And what's going to happen is, and when I say a solution, shop black owned, because black owned businesses keep money in your community. These kids don't have to stand out there and sell drugs. So now, once you shop black owned, it brings jobs to the community, and it brings money back to your community. Therefore, you don't have to stand out there and sell drugs like these kids are doing. That's the solution. Shop black owned, create jobs for these kids. We don't have to go big. We don't have to stand on the corner, sell drugs, and feed your family. We can have thriving businesses in the area. These kids will have jobs if we shop black owned. We spend $1.3 trillion a year, and 98% of that in white and foreign businesses. These foreign businesses come into our community. They don't hire anybody from our community. Therefore, our children have to sell drugs. They can't get a job in the community because blacks are too fucking stupid and still spending their money with these fucking foreigners. And now black-owned businesses fail. I want y'all to like, comment, let me know what you think about this video. Peace. I'm out.